Chapter 154 is here, and it's looking like we're really in the endgame now. We finally get to know what Ai's message really is, and how it ties into Aqua and Ruby's revenge. Aqua chose a great time to release this chapter 2, on the day season 2 premieres, so I hope all of you enjoyed that first episode, and now we can start talking about the chapter. It begins right where we left off from the last chapter, where Ai said it's better if they don't see each other again. Of course, Hikaru is completely confused, wondering why Ai said that only for her to reveal she's pregnant, like many of us expected. Hikaru said that they were careful, but unfortunately that wasn't enough. Accidents can happen, so Hikaru then suggests that they get married, but Ai immediately shuts him down. She does say that Hikaru is quite good looking, and it would be fine if they were just casually dating like young people. Yet spending her entire life with Hikaru would be a burden for her. After all, that could really hamper, if not end her idol career if they got caught. Ai then brings up Taiki, and how she knows that he's Hikaru's child with Airi. Knowing about that child, Ai is now certain that there's no way she'll be able to handle all this trouble, and begins heading to the door. She tells Hikaru that a child is too difficult for her, and it's time to end their relationship here. Then as Ai heads out the door, her last words to Hikaru were that she can't fall in love with him. Then we cut back to the present Hikaru, who feels it was inevitable. After knowing everything he had done, Ai had chosen to leave him. Hikaru then confessed that he was the one who told Ryosuke Ai's location. Although Hikaru isn't trying to avoid responsibility for Ai's murder, he does say he didn't expect Ryosuke to actually kill her. He just wanted them to understand his own despair, even if it meant scaring them a little. To feel the despair he felt when the woman he loved all his life said that she can't fall in love with him. To be honest, I'm not sure how sending a psycho fan to Ai's apartment to scare them would help them understand what he's going through. Like if Ryosuke didn't try to kill Ai and just yelled at her, I don't think that would make her understand Hikaru's despair. And if Hikaru is telling the truth, then he really did underestimate Ryosuke's hatred, and it probably broke him more to know that he was the one behind Ai's death. Then because of that, he completely lost it and turned into a murderer to ensure no one could surpass her, like we saw with Yura. However, this all stems back to Hikaru actually believing her words, which Aqua asks him about. Of course, Hikaru did believe the words of a liar, like Ai. In his head, those words were reasonable. They imposed their own fantasies on Ai, who was just a regular human in the real world. Like any other person, Ai stayed away from terrible things, and had a selfish side to her as well. Ai was really just an ordinary person, which sorta goes back to when Ruby realized Ai could cry and was a frail girl, a regular human being. However, Hikaru most certainly believed Ai never loved him, just like everyone else before. Yet Aqua counters by asking why Ruby and him were ever born then. Holding the DVD now, Aqua asks if Hikaru ever considered the meaning of their birth. Then he brings up the film, and how it's still incomplete. That's because they're internally discussing whether they should use some footage from the DVD I left in the end credits. An Ai post-credit scene is actually a crazy good idea though. Aqua clicks a button on the remote, and then Ai's message begins playing behind Hikaru. Ai figures Aqua must have been wondering why they broke up. I think we all were. It's because Hikaru was already at his limit, his boiling point. Hikaru can't help but watch now, as Ai explains that Hikaru was tainted by the darkness of the entertainment industry, turning into someone who can only depend on Ai, nearly crushed by the weight of life. We can see Hikaru's black star and gun glaring at the screen as Ai states that he was on the verge of completely breaking down and falling apart. During that time was when Ai learned that she was pregnant, and realized that Hikaru probably can't take any more than this. That's why Ai said what she said. She can't be burning with him anymore, so it's time to break up. It's why she said she can't love him. I think he might be starting to realize what Ai's true feelings for Hikaru really are now. You see, I thought Hikaru could be fine once her and the kids were gone. Ai admits that she couldn't understand what it means to love someone yet either, and if you asked her, she wouldn't consider that to be love. She actually felt anxious about it. Ai says that she thought lies were a form of love, which we have known this whole time. Originally Ai was afraid to give birth to Aqua and Ruby, because she thought they would be a burden to Hikaru too, but she still gave birth to them. And you know why? It's because deep down, Ai still wanted to stay with Hikaru forever. There we have it. You can see the look of shock on Hikaru's face, as it's now clear that Ai loved Hikaru this whole time. Ai saying that she could never love Hikaru was a lie, but a lie is a form of love to Ai. She really was hoping for Hikaru's well-being with that lie. She really wanted to share Hikaru's burden with him and walk into the future with him and his children. And we can see a very bittersweet panel of Hikaru with them as a family if things were different. This shit is actually really tragic just looking at this. Imagine if they were actually a family. And that's also the first time Ai, who didn't understand love yet, wanted to love someone. Then Ai asked a question to Aqua. From his perspective, as a 15-year-old, does he think her words back then were really lies? I suppose this also explains why she specifically wanted them to watch this once they were 15, so they might be old enough to understand her feelings. Ai herself wonders if they too believe that she was lying about saying she couldn't love Hikaru. So now, Ai has a request to both of them, as adults. If Hikaru is lost now, Ai wants Aqua and Ruby to help him, together with her using the very same DVD playing right now. Aqua then says Ruby portrayed the words, "I can't love you," as a lie. Ruby understood Ai's words correctly. It was really a 15-year lie. That's such a cool title drop for the movie. Then we see Hikaru touching the screen where Ai's hand is at, as Aqua reveals that this movie is actually a love letter to Hikaru that transcends time itself, one Ai made after pushing Hikaru away back then. We can also see that Ruby is actually listening in from outside or something, as Aqua says that this is their revenge against Hikaru, who could never understand Ai. And that's how the chapter ends, with the tears finally streaming down Aqua's face. I can't lie, the first time I actually read this I got a bit choked up. I think a lot of us predicted it, but it was still sad to actually see it being revealed, and Hikaru realizing Ai always did love him, when he's the one who caused their death. At the same time, it probably hurts Aqua and Ruby a lot too, knowing Ai did genuinely love the man who killed her, or at least was responsible for her death. Aqua wanted to kill Hikaru at first, but it must have been tough when Ai wanted Aqua to give Hikaru the message. Aqua still wanted Hikaru to suffer though, so in a way, Aqua succeeded. Hikaru will suffer unimaginable pain now that he realizes Ai loved him. Seems like this was always the plan with the movie, but Aqua managed to get Hikaru to walk into his trap even before the movie came out. Now I wonder if Aqua has any more plans for Hikaru after this. I really do hope we get a direct continuation of the next chapter. I want to see both the twins together with Hikaru at least. It might be the only time this family is together, especially with Ai on screen in the background. I doubt they'll forgive him though, and I can even see Hikaru walking out the building in handcuffs, having turned himself in. That, or Aqua had the police on standby already, ensuring Hikaru suffers for the rest of his life. This way, Aqua gets his revenge without having to go to jail or something. He can stay with Ruby, and finally live freely as Aqua with those he loves, like with Kana. What do y'all think though? Is this it for the revenge plot? Are y'all satisfied with this? Let me know in the comments, cause I'm very interested to see everyone's opinions on this. It really seems like things will be coming to an end really soon now, especially with only like the Coral Girl and shipment stuff remaining. Unfortunately there is a break next week too, but at least this time we have a new episode for the anime. But yeah, if y'all enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe. I got some more technical content here too that you can check out. Peace.